Vasistha is explaining the creation of his own psyche. This is an ongoing part of spiritual practice. Traditionally, or naively, the belief is that once you reach enlightenment, that's it. That's the end of samsara. You are now in nirvana. It's best to talk about enlightenment practice rather than enlightenment, because there's a constant coming and going between nirvana and samsara. The difference between one who's advanced in enlightenment practice is they know what's going on. They engage with samsara because they have to, but they're not taken in by it. And if they are losing themselves in samsara, it's temporary, because you need to identify with things in order to get on with things. So in this sense, you come into samsara once again, and then you come back to nirvana, you come back to the pure attention once again, the attention attending to itself. This is the dynamic of enlightenment practice. It's a dynamic of creation and dissolution. Creation is entering once again into samsara, and dissolution is moving from samsara back into realization of the reality of what is going on. So Vasistha is now describing his creation when he comes back into samsara. I am subtler and more empty than even the air. Hence I do not obstruct the coming into being of anything. This is a condition of openness. This is the nature of consciousness. Consciousness allows everything to arise within it. So this is where Vasistha is at, although the seed of notions about the senses and about time and space is there. But since I continue to be in this notional existence for a considerable period of time, you imagine that I have a body. This notional existence is samsara. It is on account of this notion existing in you that I produce this sound known as speech. You hear it even as a sleeping person hears sounds in his dream. The first sound that a child utters is Om, and hence Om has come to be regarded as the foremost among sounds. Well, I don't think that's quite the reason for it, although it's an interesting possibility. The first sound that a child utters is usually mama or amma, and I suppose within that sound we've got the the utterance of Om. But the Om is regarded as the primordial sound. I'm not quite sure why Om is mentioned here. I suppose after Om all other sounds appear from that, so Om is the seed sound. After that, whatever I have been saying as if in a dream appears to you to be my speech. Consider how people hear each other in dreams. Your dream is populated by people. They're talking to each other, they hear each other. You hear them, they hear you, depending on the dream. What's the mechanism by which different people in the dream hear each other? It's worth considering this, even though it might seem a bit absurd. It's worth considering it because this is the mechanism by which we hear anyway. I am the Absolute Brahman. I am self-contained, the creator of this creation and the preceptor of all. I have created all this through my own thoughts and notions. Thus do I exist, but I am unborn. I have seen the universe. Beyond that I have seen nothing. This is all there is. This is it. But all this that I have seen is but pure void. It's all consciousness arising in consciousness. All this is but pure experiencing. Nothing, the earth, etc., exists, nor has anything ever come into being. Nothing exists outside. You could also say nothing exists inside either. Everything is in consciousness. Everything is consciousness. There is no world in Brahman, but Brahman sees or experiences a world. This perception is not a fact or reality, but just a notion. The truth cannot be seen by physical eyes, which can only see material objects. Well, physical eyes are notional, and so are material objects. When you see with your subtle ativahika eyes, you'll behold the creation as it is, as the truth, as pure Brahman nirvana. This isn't referring to some ghostly counterpart of our eyes. It's referring to awareness of the process of seeing, and moving away from notions of there being somebody here seeing something out there, and just being with the seeing. This is a stage of self-inquiry. When we pursue this, we see that there's only seeing going on, and in that seeing there's awareness. That seeing arises in awareness. The subtle eyes are the eyes of your attention with respect to seeing. When I experienced space, I knew what earth was. Space is only space when it's got something in it. And what's in it is here described as earth. I became earth. The attention becomes whatever it's attending to. In that earth I experienced the existence of countless universes, without ever abandoning the awareness that I am the infinite consciousness. This is the spiritual practice. I saw the most amazing earthly phenomena and events within that earth, within me. In fact, I experienced even the farmer ploughing me, the earth, and I experienced the burning heat of the sun and the cool flow of rainwater. I became the fearful space in which the Lokaloka mountains, the boundaries of the world, exist, and I experienced the actions and the movements of countless beings. Countless beings of different types, gods, demons, humans, animals, and worms filled me. I was filled with mountains, forests, etc., which exist on earth. So Vasistha here is experiencing the foundations of the world here. He's coming back into creation.